If you're sick of getting lower back pain while you're deadlifting, or maybe you just avoid the exercise overall because you don't feel confident enough performing the exercise, then keep watching this video because I'm going to take you through everything that I teach my clients in order to perform the lift in a safely manner, but then also to be able to get stronger and see more muscle mass. If we haven't met before, hi, my name is Clara. I'm a personal trainer, online fitness coach. I'm from Sweden, based on the Gold Coast in Australia, and I'm about to take you through everything that you need to know to build your strongest body ever. Now, the reason to why most people get low back pain from deadlifting is actually because their muscles in their lower back is compensating for other muscles not being switched on. So the most important thing when performing a deadlift is actually knowing how to switch on your glutes and your core. So we need to really stabilize our pelvic area in order to actually have all of the muscles switched on to perform the deadlift correctly. All right, so first thing you want to do is to make sure that you have a good setup. So we're setting up the hooks to be aligned with your hand so you easily can take the bar off when you're performing the deadlift. So we never ever want to waste any energy and grabbing the bar off the ground if we are performing a Romanian deadlift. It's only for our conventional deadlifts that we actually want to start off the ground. So once you got your hooks set up, we want to make sure that we take our shoes off. We always want to have our feet fully grounded into the floor. Think of your foot as a tripod and you want to have 3 points of contact when you are performing a deadlift. I see so many girls pushing their weight onto the heels or onto the toes, and that eventually is going to ruin that stabilization of our hips. So setup is super important. So take your shoes off before you get into the deadlift. We got the setup sorted without shoes. Now we're going to grab onto the bar. So one of the things that a lot of people actually forget about is how you're gripping the bar and having your lat to be engaged in the deadlift. It's not just a lower body exercise because we want to make sure that we have a lat engaged to support with the overall lift. So when you're grabbing onto the barbell, you want to have your hands slightly just outside your thighs. Gripping onto the barbell, pretend that it's a stick that you want to break into half to set that scapula to be engaged. If you're not having your lat engaged, you're most likely going to hunch over with your upper back and it's going to look very ugly and it's not going to be safe anymore. So grabbing onto the barbell, pretending that you're breaking it into half to set your scapula to be engaged. Pulling the barbell up, taking 3 steps back. Shoulder width apart, grabbing onto the barbell on the outside of our thighs, pretending that we are breaking the barbell into half, setting our scapula, pulling it up, 3 steps back. From here, we are hip hinging. I want you to pretend that you are having your body to be chopped into half and hips are traveling back, upper body is traveling forward, slightly bending your knees, nice and slow. We're taking our time in the eccentric phase here and we're driving our hips back up. So pretend that you are hip thrusting in the air. So the most common issue that I see girls doing is that they are slightly having an anterior pelvic tilt. So they're shifting their hips forward, which then open up your rib cage. When your rib cage is open, your core is not fully engaged. So what you want to do is you want to pretend that someone is punching you. You want to stack your ribs in. And that way you'll keep it nice and protected. And then your glutes will always be engaged as well. Because when you stabilize your hips, your glutes and your core work together to stabilize the whole movement. So always pretend when you're leaning over, you don't want to be relaxed in your stomach. You don't want to feel like someone can punch you and you'll be hurt. So you want to stack your ribs, pretend that someone is punching you. One great exercise that I love to do before my deadlifts is a hip airplane. It's to open up your hips and improve your mobility before actually going into the lifting. It also engages and activates your glutes in your standing leg as well. So it does a lot of things and it's so simple. It takes so little time. Grab onto something to stabilize because it's quite hard to keep the balance otherwise. You want to stand on one leg. You're going to perform a single Romanian deadlift, and when you're at the very bottom, you want to pivot your toes, so slightly rotate your hip upwards and fully open up your hips. And then we're going to rotate back in towards the middle and then open up again. So you're going to perform 6 to 8 reps on each side, 2 sets before you get into your lift. Once you got your form right, it is time to start focusing on your breath. Your breath connects together with your core and it's super important in order to stay safe within your lift. So to properly brace your core correctly and breathe in the right way, you want to pretend that you are pushing the belly out and making it to look like a big balloon. You never ever want to suck your belly in. This is not the proper way to brace your core. So as I mentioned before, you want to pretend that someone is punching you, and technically you can't even suck in if you're going to tense up if someone is going to punch you. So you want to push your belly out, pretend that you're trying to look like you're pregnant, and keep that position. If you're looking pretty, if you're looking skinny, when you go down into the lift, you're not doing it correctly. You want to breathe in before you go down for your lift, holding your breath while you go down. You're exhaling when you're at the top again. Super important to go slow in the eccentric phase and to take your time when you're going down into the deadlift. So many girls are just rushing the reps, and this is the reason to why you're not seeing results in the gym. You want to put intention in every single rep and treat every rep as its own rather than just trying to push through and work through your 10 reps. Now, if you're someone who's getting a lot of pain or you're feeling like your forearms are really taking over when you're performing the lift, purchase a pair of lifting straps. These are the biggest game changer that you can have in your gym space. And you're going to wrap the straps around the barbell, and this is going to support your wrist and it's going to take the pressure off your forearms. That's it. That's how you perform a deadlift without getting low back pain and making sure that you're creating more muscle gains as well. But please be patient with this exercise. I performed Romanian deadlifts for years without even feeling like they were 100% correct. And it takes time, it takes practice, but just know that every single repetition that you put in is so important, and it will play a part in the bigger picture. And a couple years from now, you will be so grateful that you didn't give up on this exercise. And if you know how to work with a barbell, you can walk into any gym space at all and have a workout set up for you. If you found this valuable, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'll be posting heaps to help you feel the most confident and strongest version of you.